Hey everybody, I'm Keith, also a nerdy dad on both Mango Velocity and Spiceworks. And we're going to talk about introduction to PowerShell. A long time ago, there was a post about how to create a user in Active Directory, and I posted my script on it, and it got a lot of traction on it. So I was like, okay, people might want to have a little more education and familiarity with PowerShell. PowerShell was created about a little over 10 years ago by Microsoft, replaced VB scripts. They got commissioned Jeffrey Snover and Bruce Payette and James Truher to start creating and developing PowerShell. Payette is credited to be the founder of PowerShell, while Snover is actually the architect of PowerShell. So what is it? PowerShell is an interpreted language. If you don't know what interpreted is, it means like it goes line by line, compiling every line of code. It's a scripted language, which means you can go either in a command prompt, or not command prompt, a PowerShell prompt, and run a line of code, or you can script it to run later on. It's object-oriented, which means object-oriented meaning as in users, computers, services. If it's an object, it can be done in PowerShell. And it's reflective. I haven't gotten to reflective yet, so bear with me on that one. The underpinning is it requires the .NET framework for it to work. PowerShell is built into the .NET framework. In the original release 10 years ago, it was a version 1. It came in Windows XP Service Pack 2, 2003 Service Pack 1, sorry. Windows Vista, and it was an optional download for 2008. Today is version 5.1 as far as the creators update for Windows 10, and it's also in Windows 2016, built right in. If you're not on creators update or Windows 2016, you actually need to download the 5.1 .NET framework to get 5.1 PowerShell.
Keith, real quick question. So if you're running the previous version, will it auto upgrade you to that version 5, or will you actually keep both versions on your machine?
It'll auto upgrade you to version 5.
Okay.
There's a way of finding out what version you want. So, like I said, you also in order for it, .NET by itself is only for your computer itself. To interact with Active Directory or other servers, you need RSATs, Remote Server Administration Tools, for Windows 10, for Windows 7, whatever Windows you're on. So how do you get started? Well, it's already built. It's already in your Start menu. You gotta go down to Windows PowerShell, open it up. There's 4 options. We're going to start off right here with the Windows PowerShell no x86. So by default, you're on 64-bit. You also need to set your execution policy, which is very critical. Without setting your execution policy, you're not going to get anywhere. So my suggested execution policy is to set execution policy -remote signed. That means that you're signing your own scripts to be used somewhere else, and they can trust. The server will trust you on that remote script. So the command structure of PowerShell is on a verb-noun basis. So for example, get command. What you're doing, you're getting commands on whatever you need. Set something. So you want to set the password for a user. You want to, if you're on a local other server, set its IP address. You can also invoke commands on other objects as well. What I love to do is invoke commands on servers to either reset IP addresses or install remote packaging. I don't get it from my computer anymore. Stuff like that. Help me back up real quick. Objects. Objects, like I said before, are users, computers, services, connections, app packages, and that's going to be important here in a minute. Syntax. Pipes. Pipe is critical. Is similar like Linux, I assume. It works from right to left. You have your command, and then I'll go command over here, And if you have your pipes out this way, it works from right to left. Double apostrophes are strings. Single apostrophes are literals. Commas are separators. So you have different properties for different objects. The properties can be separated by the commas. Helpful hint for going through commands, you can use a tab. So if you start off, say like get-c, you can tab through in the command prompt, and it will tab through those get-c commands that start with C. So you can find what you want. Wildcards, also very important. Apostrophes are wildcards for one or more letters or objects. Question mark are just for that position, for one character positions. So say like, for example, wildcards. You can do a git command, get AD apostrophe. It'll bring you get AD users, AD computers, a whole list of stuff. But if you do the question mark, you don't get very much because there's not much starting with 3 letters. You can do a range of characters. So say that you want to find a list of users, but you don't want everybody. You can do a range, say get user with dash last name, ranging from A to F, and that will give you everybody from starting with the last name of A through F. And you filter it out from there as well by piping. Or special characters. Say you want just those B, D, and G. You put in B, D, and G all together with no hyphen, and it will give you just that. Those will start with B's, D's, and G's. So let's get started. Like I said before, git commands is always very helpful. Git command *-help will give you both get help, save help, and update help. Of course, that sounds like what it should do. Get your help, update help, or save your help. Get help is like man pages. Get help gives you a man page or a help page of the command you're looking for. So if you do get help dash or space git command, you're going to get a help page of git command. And of course, get members. Am I speaking loud enough?
The video's completely dark.
Oh, okay.
Almost.
So a couple of helpful commands that I use all the time when I have my Windows prompt open is unlock AD account with the username. It is a lot faster than remoting into the server, opening up Active Directory, finding the user, going to the properties to uncheck a box. Here, I can type in unlock AD account with the username, 5 seconds, they're done. Be like, nice acapella concert here. You got a user leave, you got a user who's a little bit irritant, and HR wants you to disable their account. Right there, disable AD account with their username. Locks them. It doesn't really delete their account, but it does lock their account down so they can't do anything. Test connection. It's like ping for command prompt. However, the only problem with test connection is it doesn't do well if the ping doesn't respond back. If you do get a respond back, it's a nice little formatted script of source, destination, time to live, and of course the respond back. Here I just did destination, source, and then quiet. That will basically give you just a true false response. Yes, it's got a connection, or no, it does not. Do you want to say it again? Okay. Nope. And there was a little rumor going back that Microsoft was to replace command prompt with PowerShell. Well, got a little heated, and they decided not to instead. Said, okay, you know what? We're going to keep it in there. We're just seeing how it tests the waters. So, real world situation. I prepare laptops for my work, and Windows 10 always gives all of this kind of just what we call crapware. So how do we get rid of crapware? You can go into each tile and uninstall each one, but you don't get all of them. Instead, you gotta do this on a per user basis too. It doesn't really take a lot of space on the disk, but it does give a lot of time with capabilities. It's not really business intuitive. Doesn't make sense for the business. That is the list of all the packages. I know it's really small right here. I'm sorry. That is installed by default by Windows 10. Let's get rid of them all. So we need to actually create a line that says get Apex package. What does that tell you? You're going to get all the Apex packages. You're going to sort them or select the name and the package full name. If you don't, you're going to get all the properties of all the packages in a long, unorganized mess. It's not going to be helpful at all. We're also going to sort it by name. So next, here's the key indicator I learned too. If it starts with a C in that last suffix of the package full name, you can't uninstall it. It is there. It is a system dependency. Anything else, you can get rid of. But you need the entire package full name. And here we're going to do it one at a time. So, let me go back quick. So, I'm going to remove Apex package, the package full name. Once done, you can do that one at a time. Once done, you get a list a lot shorter, at least half of what it was before. I will do the get Apex package line again. And you see it's a lot cleaner, a lot smaller of a list. And this is the end result of the window. This is for a person in accounting. So I left a couple of those apps in there, like the calculator, Edge for banks and whatever, because they're in accounting. I also threw back in there Excel, because they're accounting. And so that's the end of that one. So let's go ahead and dive into actually creating a script. Yeah, I'm getting closer to this one because I have some actual small script here. So we're actually going to go into the ISE instead. If you create a script, it is a PS1 file. And you can tie a PS1 file to task events to run out their time. You can invoke a PS1 or a PowerShell script later on through invoke commands. So this is PowerShell ISE. If you've never seen one before, this is what it looks like. You have your scripting pane, the big white box. You have the command pane. The console pane. You have the command pane, the far right side. Of course, you can move those however you want to, what's comfortable for you.
What does it stand for?
Command pane.
No, ISE.
Integrated Scripting Environment.
Just asking for the deal.
Yeah. Because of my knowledge what you're doing.
Just trying to make it more marketable.
So one important part is comments. You can do comments one of two ways. You can do block comments, which is less than, £, or hashtag, whatever you want, however old you are. And then £, greater than. Anything between those two is a comment. Anything outside of that is not a comment. Also, you have line comments. So if you have anything after the £, it's going to be a comment. Before that is not going to be a comment. You can also declare variables. Anything. You want me to back up real quick, or you good?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I'll just get it from you later.
Okay. I'll put on the Megalossy.
Perfect.
Declaring variables. Anything with a $sign in front of it is a variable. You can have whatever you want to, as long as it's not. It's best not to have spaces. You can better have a naming convention that you are familiar with and is also familiar with other people. This makes it more readable. Or you can also just comment what your variables do and what they are. Don't use any kind of special characters except for the $sign. Letters and numbers are probably your best bets. In declaring a variable, you can also declare what kind of variable it is. So you can declare strings, you can declare booleans, you can declare integers, 32-bit integers. Make sure they're in brackets before the variable. You can also initially set what the variable is. So right here, boolean unlocked equals true. That would be setting it ahead of time for whatever the script is going to do later on. This is my entire disable user script. Serialized, of course, serialized. It goes anywhere from, it asks you 3 questions. It asks you who we're disabling, who is their manager or is going to get their new emails, and who are you. That's going to be important later on. It also goes and pulls the information, changes the password of the leaving user, the terminal employee, or whether they're voluntary or what, that's an HR issue, no matter what. And emails a report to HR and IT saying that that person is no longer in the system.
That's cool.
So first thing you want to do is you want to import your modules. So we need the Active Directory module for this script because we are messing with Active Directory. So we're going to do an import -module Active Directory, the very top. Because again, this is a interpreted language. It goes from top to bottom. I now set my variables. I first asked the user the 3 questions I mentioned before, and I set those answers as the variable. $UN is the username. $man is the manager, and $off is the person who is actually doing the work, the IT person. I actually tried to get an authentication system in this, but it didn't work out. So I just took it all out. It also grabs the date and time. It grabs the users' names and the managers' names for HR etiquette, so they know full and clear who it is. I then create a command set AD account password. Identity is the username, is my variable. Reset, I'm resetting their password and their new password. And it's going to ask me what the account password is. I put that in there to change the password, they can't get into it anymore, and it sets that password for them in Active Directory. So now this is for a local exchange system. I also have one for 365, but that was a little more advanced. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a new PowerShell session with Exchange. And set that I create a variable session called mail. I have the URI of the Exchange server along with the name of the Exchange server and how we're going to authenticate. Here we're going to do it by Kerberos. We're also using the credentials that you entered in before. Sorry, I'm getting a little dry mouth here. We're also now going to import that session into our Active Directory, or not our Active Directory, our current PowerShell session, so that we can now interface with Exchange. We're going to set the mailbox. We're going to set the property of the mailbox, not the mailbox itself. We're setting the forwarding address of the mailbox to the manager that we received the information from before. Thank you very much. And then, once you're done with that session, you have to remove that session out and close the session off. For security reasons, not really anything else. And then we're going to email the report to HR. I have a variable here called $report. is basically a large string, and in that I have a formatted letter telling HR with variables that this person's account's been disabled at this time, at this day, by this person, and their mail is not going to their their manager. And then I just send that message to my Exchange server, and it sends it to both the HR and to IT, so that we both have a record of the disabled. Any questions?
Can it,
New form? Good.
can it nuke the mailbox if it's not important?
You can know the mailbox if you want to. Probably just remove dash mailbox.
How'd you format that email? You said you had just one long string.
Yeah, one long string, put the inners, it keeps everything as literal.
So the message is just, you put message in there and just one long. This is
It actually does word wrap based on what the email does. So, like how I write it, the email will be different than how you see it, based on the screen you're seeing it on.
Cool.
I guess you have to have the delegated permissions in AD to be able to reset another user's password for that script to work right on your computer, right?
That is correct. You do have to be active a domain admin to be able to interface, or an Exchange admin as well, in order to be able to modify Active Directory and Exchange. So I want to throw it out there as well. There's just some caveats there.
And when you're importing the modules like for Active Directory, are those already part of the .NET installation on your machine, or are you actually pulling them from the internet?
Oh, that's just actually part of the remote server, the RSET tool.
Okay.
So if you get the RSET tool for the consoles and modules for on your computer, it's also built into the RSET tool for PowerShell modules.
Gotcha.
Can you not make it so, like HR can disable users and remove users by the Active Directory rights that you can hand out?
That was one of my
Whoa, the power must have just come on or something.
that was one of my ideas, my wants, but the authentication error did not allow me to do that at the time. So I'm still debugging that part.